Hi, Dr. Dolly. Quick question I think you might enjoy answering. What do you see as the future of WCI? I know you've talked about having other speakers and other members joining your team as part of a way to keep it alive and make sure it doesn't die with you. But I'm also curious what other changes you envision might come to WCI in next few years, next few decades, and when you think you might start cutting back and what your role will be going forward.
All right, the future of WCI. Yeah, I will. I'll tell you what I've been telling people for the last decade. I don't know. I don't exactly know where it's going to go. I'm just along for the ride. And I couldn't have predicted where it is today 5 years ago. I couldn't have predicted where it was 5 years in from the beginning. And who knows where it's going to be 5 years from now. Obviously, there's a lot more people depending on it now, though. So we do need some longer projections and some longer plans and things to do. The biggest risk to what the white coat investor as a business is me. I'm the one most likely to screw it up. Something happening to me would be a significant issue, although much less significant now than it would have been a year or two ago. We're trying to make it so that it's a little bit more viable as a business in that it doesn't depend just on me. It wasn't that many years ago when I was, the CEO, the chief technology officer, in charge of everything basically. And then we started hiring people that gradually took over some of the things I was doing and then started doing some things that I wasn't even doing. And so that's when it's really grown by leaps and bounds. What do we hope to do with it? Well, the mission statement is what we believe in. We truly want to help you get a fair shake on Wall Street. We want to help as many doctors become financially literate as we can. And the longer we can do that for, the more good we're going to do, not only for those doctors and their families and their descendants, but for their patients, because we believe that doctors that have their financial ducks in a row are better doctors. We think that you can concentrate on your patients more, that you're less likely to do something maybe you shouldn't due to a financial conflict of interest. And so we want to keep that going for years and years and decades and who knows, centuries maybe, who knows. And so that's our first mission. Our second one is to connect you to the good guys in the industry. And the good news is connecting you to them, we can usually make some money. And so that makes it a viable business and allows us to pay people. But the main focus for the last couple of years, as you've noticed, and the next few years is going to be, a process that involves removing me from the business. Not because I necessarily want to be out of the business, but because the business is better without me. And by that, I mean it's more of a business that can relate to more people. And it's a business that can endure when I'm gone or should something happen to me. But just setting it up that way is good for the audience. It's good for the business, et cetera. And no, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm planning on doing this for a long time. But we want to be prepared for those sorts of things. As you may have noticed, my hobbies are not exactly the safest hobbies on the planet, and something could happen at any given moment. And so we want to be prepared for
Jim.
that.
Don't be a Debbie Downer. We miss you so much.
Well, it's true. The founder, especially of something like this, is going to be a big part of it.
Yeah.
But it's really a big question. Can a business like this that was founded as Jim's blog outlive Jim? And we don't really know. There's a certain percentage of you that are here listening, that are reading the blog because you're personally connected to me. And we understand that. I don't know what percentage of the audience that is, whether that's 10% or a third or 90%, we don't really know. But there's a certain number who are coming here to become financially educated. And it's not that important that it's me behind the microphone or me behind the computer screen. And so obviously removing me from the business, the latter people don't care all that much. The former care very much because they're just here to listen to me. And so we don't really know what that percentage is, but we're certainly going to find out because as people can tell, I'm not the only voice on this podcast. And chances are you won't be the last voice on this podcast either, Thisha. And, and same thing on the blog. People have noticed we have a bunch of columnists and contributors. I know. It's weird. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
But but the idea is to have
I
multiple
know.
voices on here and have multiple perspectives, and to make it sustainable, because we think it does some really good things, and we want it to do that long term. So, hope that answers your question of what we see long term for the white coat investor. More shorter term, we've got some books planned, some courses planned. We're going to keep doing the conference, and it gets better every year. And we're continually making changes to the website and our communities to serve you better. That's where we're focused, and we got a lot of people working hard on it now. So it's a pretty fun mission and pretty fun business to be part of.
Hmm. What I found is it's a learning process being an entrepreneur and kind of and growing a company, but it's a lot of work and it takes a whole team. There are a lot of people behind the scenes of this podcast and the whole site, but what I found with the Frugal Physician was that I just wasn't willing to try to keep building that when there was already a platform that was reaching so many people. Here at the White Coat Investor, I thought, the benefit to the community at large would be so much greater if we just joined forces and did this together. So that's why I'm here, and I really hope that this company, this business that provides a really valuable service to our community of doctors, continues to keep going for years and years, beyond us.
Yeah, some people ask, well, why a business? Why not a volunteer kind of organization or some sort of nonprofit or whatever? And the truth is, I don't think we could do as much good if we weren't a business. It's the profit we make that allows us to hire people, that allows us to, again, reach more people, that allows us to connect you with, the good guys in the industry. So we think a business is the right format for this sort of an effort. But that doesn't mean that, money first is our mantra around here. It certainly is not. Do we make money? Yes. Do we want to take care of our employees and make payroll? Absolutely. But that's not necessarily the first and primary goal for the business. It does help me stay motivated sometimes when I'm not as motivated by the primary mission. So sometimes I'm more motivated by money. Sometimes I'm more motivated by the mission. And I think it's good to have both those motivations working toward the success of this business. If you want your questions answered by the White Coat Investor, record your question at whitecoatinvestor.com/YQA or click the link in the description.
The hosts of the White Coat Investor podcast are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is free entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.